Before we begin, I want you to take a slow breath in and gently release it. Because this message isn't random. It's not accidental. You were led here. Welcome back to Sacred Echoes, or if this is your first time joining, welcome home. You're not here because of coincidence, you're here because something in the spiritual realm has shifted, and heaven wants your attention. Before we go deeper, I want you to do something powerful. Go to the comments and write, "Sparkles, I receive sparkles." Not timidly. Not hoping. Write it boldly, like someone who already knows God has gone ahead of them. Because angels are saying something very clear about your life right now. You are getting married. You are relocating. And it's happening sooner than you think, but you must stay quiet. Not everyone can know. Not everyone deserves access to what God is preparing. Not every voice is meant to speak into this new chapter. Some things must stay between you and God until they bloom. The word reminds us in Isaiah 43 verse 19. "Behold, I am doing a new thing, now it springs forth, do you not perceive it?" You may not have seen the signs fully. You may not understand how everything will unfold. But heaven has already written the next chapter of your life. And the angels are whispering, "Stay calm. Stay patient. Stay quiet. Because this blessing is sacred, and secrecy is protection." Sometimes God hides the blessing until the appointed moment, not to confuse you, but to shield you. Just like Joseph, who received a dream that others couldn't understand, many around you would not understand what is being prepared. That's why Proverbs 18 verse 21 reminds us, life and death are in the power of the tongue. The wrong conversation, the wrong confession, the wrong person hearing your promise, could sabotage what God is setting in motion. That's why right now, heaven is saying, guard your promise. Guard your mouth. Guard your peace. The person you are destined to marry is not just someone who likes you. Not someone who just happened to appear. Not someone who is passing time. This is someone God Himself appointed, someone who carries a connection to your destiny. Your connection with them is not ordinary, it is spiritual. And many of you have already begun to feel it. A shift in your spirit. A feeling of being watched over. A peace you didn't understand. A strange inner knowing that something, or someone, is coming. Some of you have even been having dreams. Dreams of weddings, rings, homes, travel, relocation. It's not random. It's revelation. Matthew 6 verse 33 says, "But seek first the kingdom of God and His righteousness, and all these things will be added unto you." You didn't chase marriage. You didn't chase someone. You didn't try to force a relationship. Instead, you worked on yourself. You healed. You prayed. You let go of what wasn't aligned. You surrendered your timeline to God. And now, the one meant to walk beside you is being revealed. Heaven is aligning conversations, meetings, timing, resources, and relocation. And soon, very soon, it will make sense why everything took the time it did. Some people left. Some connections faded. Some situations were removed. Not because you weren't enough, but because they weren't chosen. Your spirit may have felt disappointment, but heaven saw redirection. God had someone specific in mind. Someone who will love you differently. Someone who will treat you like a gift, not an option. Someone who will pursue you with clarity, not confusion. Someone who carries emotional maturity, financial stability, and spiritual alignment. Someone who is ready, not someone you have to fix or convince. And the angels are saying, you are stepping into a season of partnership. A season of commitment. A season of union. Not temporary connection, but covenant. But listen closely. This blessing requires silence. Not isolation, but discretion. That is why Proverbs 4 verse 23 instructs, guard your heart above all else, for it determines the course of your life. Some people around you only support you when you're struggling. Some smile with you, but secretly fear your elevation. Some pretend to care, but would undermine what God is building if they knew details. This is why the angels are emphasizing silence. Not out of fear, but out of wisdom. There is a difference between being private and being hidden. Private is intentional. Hidden is protection. And right now, heaven is hiding your blessing until the appointed moment. Just as Mary kept all these things and pondered them in her heart, Luke 2 verse 19, you too must hold this revelation quietly until God makes it public. There will be a moment, sooner than you expect, where things suddenly accelerate. One day it will feel like nothing is happening. And then suddenly everything unfolds at once. A conversation. A decision. A confirmation. A relocation. A wedding plan. A covenant. Because when God moves, He doesn't move gradually. He moves suddenly. Isaiah 60 verse 22 says, "When the time is right, I, the Lord, will make it happen." Not you. Not them. Not timing, circumstances, or pressure. God will make it happen. Your role right now? Stay in alignment. Stay grateful. Stay grounded. Stay watchful. And stay quiet. You are stepping into a promise that will require maturity. Your future spouse, the one God has chosen, is not coming with confusion or inconsistency. They are coming with certainty. This is someone who has been through enough to know what matters. Someone who has cried enough to know what love feels like. Someone who has prayed enough to recognize you as an answer, not a test. And when they come, you'll feel peace, not anxiety. God is saying, this one will feel like home. Not chaos. Not guessing. Not anxiety. Not doubt. Because where God is, peace follows. Philippians 4 verse 7 says, "And the peace of God, which surpasses all understanding, will guard your heart and your mind in Christ Jesus." That peace you've been feeling lately? Even without proof, even without clarity? That is God preparing you. You're not imagining it, your spirit knows before your mind does. You have entered a season of fulfillment. A season where prayers turn into reality. Where waiting becomes walking. Where promise becomes presence. But remember, you cannot announce what God is still building. You cannot reveal what heaven is still protecting. You cannot expose what is still growing roots beneath the surface. When the time comes, it will be undeniable. Your relocation will make sense. Your marriage will make sense. Your silence will make sense. People will say, "How did this happen so fast?" But you'll know. It wasn't fast. It was divine timing. Before we continue, if this message has touched your spirit so far, take a moment and like this video. It helps this message reach the person who needs confirmation just like you. And if you haven't already, subscribe to Sacred Echoes and turn on notifications so you don't miss the next divine message. There is something incredible happening around you right now, even if you can't yet see it with your physical eyes. The spiritual atmosphere around your life is shifting, aligning, and preparing a divine path that has already been written in heaven. You may feel a quiet excitement deep in your spirit, almost like anticipation without explanation. That is not random. That is spiritual confirmation. Your angels are showing you that your life is about to change in a way that feels sudden, but in reality, God has been arranging this for years. Everything you went through, the heartbreaks, the disappointments, the delays, the failed connections, the lonely seasons, none of it was wasted. Every moment was required. Every chapter served a purpose. Every ending cleared space for what is coming. Sometimes God withholds something not because you're unworthy, but because the timing wasn't aligned. Psalm 37 verse 7 says, "Be still before the Lord and wait patiently for Him." That patience you learned, that quiet endurance, that trust in God when nothing made sense, that is what positioned you for this move in this marriage. Others gave up early. Others settled. Others rushed into what looked good instead of waiting for what was God sent. But you waited. Even when you were tired. Even when you questioned. Even when you were tempted to go backward. You held on to faith. And God saw that. The reason this blessing feels sacred is because it required sacrifice. You had to let go of people you loved. You had to walk away from environments that drained your spirit. You had to stop explaining yourself to those who weren't meant to understand. Maybe there were moments where you wondered, did I do the right thing? Did I push away something I needed? Will I ever find someone who genuinely loves me? Heaven is answering. Yes, you did the right thing. Because the person you released wasn't your final blessing, they were preparation. They taught you boundaries, self-respect, discernment, emotional maturity, and spiritual awareness. You needed those lessons to recognize the one God ordained for you. That's why the angels say your silence right now is wisdom. Not everyone needs access to this new chapter. Not everyone has the spiritual maturity to celebrate your elevation. Some people are tied to your old identity, not your destiny. You've grown. You've healed. You've transformed. And now, God is bringing someone who matches your evolution, not your past. There's something else being revealed. Your relocation is not just a change in address, it is a shift into alignment. You have outgrown certain spaces emotionally, spiritually, mentally, and energetically. Staying in the same environment would delay what God is trying to release. Sometimes God must remove you from familiar places so He can expose you to environments that match your calling and purpose. Just like Abraham in Genesis 12 verse 1, God is whispering, "Go from your country, your people, and your father's household to the land I will show you." You may not know the exact location yet. You may not know the timeline or details. But heaven is already arranging it. That's why you feel disconnected from your current surroundings. That's why conversations feel different. That's why your spirit is restless but expectant. That's why you can't return to past relationships or environments, you've outgrown them. Your future spouse is tied to your next location, not your current one. This person is not someone who will demand you shrink yourself. Not someone intimidated by your calling or anointing. Not someone unsure, inconsistent, or emotionally unavailable. This is someone God has refined, humbled, and spiritually prepared. Someone who has also endured waiting. Someone who has prayed for someone exactly like you. Someone who is ready, not just for love, but for purpose. This relationship is not just romantic, it is kingdom assignment. Ecclesiastes 4 verse 9 reminds us, "Two are better than one, because they have a good return for their labor." Together, you will build. Together, you will grow. Together, you will step into a calling bigger than what either of you could accomplish alone. And when the connection begins, you will feel something unusual. Ease. Clarity. Familiarity. Peace. Not because everything will make sense immediately, but because your spirit will recognize them before your mind does. You won't need to chase this connection. You won't need to prove yourself. You won't need to question their intentions. Their actions will speak with consistency, commitment, and emotional transparency. But again, silence is required. Some people will not understand. Some will question. Some will envy. Some will try to sow doubt, confusion, or interference. That is why the angels repeat, "Keep quiet until God makes it public." Blessings grow best in protected environments. Seeds sprout underground before they are seen by the world. Right now, your promise is still sprouting. God is still preparing hearts, aligning timing, opening doors, and clearing obstacles. You may not notice it, but the spiritual realm is active. Your future spouse is thinking about partnership, stability, family, and commitment. They are being nudged by the Holy Spirit to make decisions that align them with you. Some of them have already seen signs, dreams, or repetitive confirmations about love and marriage. Both of you are being prepared spiritually, mentally, and emotionally. This is why isolation came first, not because you were forgotten, but because you were being prepared. This season has been cleansing you from old wounds, insecurities, and fears so you can enter love with confidence and openness, not defense or doubt. Psalm 126 verse 5 says, "Those who sow in tears will reap with shouts of joy." Your tears were seeds. Your heartbreak was the soil. Your faith is the water. And now, your harvest is near. Before I continue, pause for a moment and breathe. You are not behind. You are not late. You are not forgotten. You are not abandoned. You are aligned. Quickly, go to the comments and type, "Sparkles, my time has come, Sparkles." Seal it with faith. Then say, "Sparkles, Lord, I'm ready." Sparkles. Because the shift isn't coming. It has already begun. There's something powerful building around you, and whether you realize it or not, you can feel it. Your spirit knows change is approaching long before your mind catches up. You may not have the full picture yet, but deep down, you sense momentum. You feel a stirring in your soul, almost like a gentle spiritual pressure, telling you something is about to shift. That feeling is confirmation. God is not sending confusion. He is sending preparation. Right now, everything in your life is aligning in ways that may not make sense to the natural eye, but spiritually, it's perfect timing. You may notice you've become more selective with your energy. You don't tolerate chaos like before. You don't entertain gossip, meaningless conversations, or surface-level connections anymore. And that's not accidental, that's elevation. When God is about to move you into a new season, He first disconnects you from what no longer matches your future. That's why certain friendships faded. That's why old habits suddenly felt uncomfortable. That's why certain environments feel too small for you now. That's why conversations drain you if they lack purpose or depth. You have spiritually outgrown what once felt normal. Isaiah 43 verses 18 to 19 says, "Forget the former things, do not dwell on the past. See, I am doing a new thing." The new thing God is bringing requires space, maturity, and peace. And that peace is already forming around you. Your angels want you to know that someone is being guided toward you with intentionality. This person is not entering your life casually. They are part of destiny. They will carry part of your purpose, your comfort, your joy, and your future. They won't be confused. They won't be inconsistent. They won't treat you like an option. They will recognize your value immediately. Somewhere right now, this person is thinking deeply about their next steps in life. They are reflecting on stability, meaning, legacy, and love. They have been searching, not blindly, but guided. And unknowingly, they have been getting closer to you. God is softening their heart. God is strengthening their courage. God is removing distractions around them. God is giving them clarity. Just like God is preparing you, He is preparing them. For some of you, the reason God told you to remain silent right now is because revelation before manifestation can attract spiritual interference. Not every ear deserves access to what heaven is building for you. Some people would discourage you because they cannot imagine the version of you God is raising. Some would speak doubt because they are intimidated. Some would try to attach themselves to your blessing, not because they love you, but because they want proximity to what God is giving you. So yes, silence is protection. God is doing something sacred, not public, not yet. Proverbs 4 verse 23 says, "Above all else, guard your heart." Guarding your heart doesn't mean fear or isolation. It means wisdom. It means discernment. It means knowing not everyone gets to sit in the front row of your transformation. This next chapter is personal. You're not just moving locations, you're moving dimensions spiritually. You're not just entering a relationship, you're entering covenant. This connection will feel like a breath of fresh air, familiar yet new. Safe yet exciting. Divine yet natural. You will not have to beg for reassurance. You will not have to decode mixed signals. You will not feel insecure or uncertain. You will not question whether you matter. Why? Because love sent by God carries peace, not anxiety. 1 Corinthians 14 verse 33 reminds us, God is not the author of confusion, but of peace. So if it feels confusing, it's not God. If it feels forced, it's not God. If it feels draining, it's not God. But what's coming will feel effortless. It will feel aligned. It will feel supported. It will feel mutual. Some of you haven't felt safe to love in a long time. You've loved before, but it was love mixed with fear, heartbreak, disappointment, or uncertainty. You cared deeply for people who didn't handle you with care. You held on to people who weren't ready, weren't healed, or weren't emotionally available. But God says today, I am restoring your ability to trust love. Psalm 147 verse 3 says, He heals the brokenhearted and binds up their wounds. That healing was necessary. You couldn't step into a divine relationship carrying wounds from old cycles. You needed to learn self-worth so that when the right person arrives, you will receive them, not reject them out of fear. You are not behind. You are not late. You are just aligning with the pace of heaven. And heaven is not rushed, it is precise. Your new beginning will come quietly but powerfully. One conversation, one encounter, one opportunity, one divine alignment, and everything will shift. Your angels are showing you a sudden relocation, a sudden emotional breakthrough, a sudden connection or reconnect ion, a sudden sense of certainty. This is not ordinary timing, this is appointed timing. Habakkuk 2 verse 3 says, Though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come, it will not delay. When God says now, nothing can stop it, not fear, not distance, not timing, not doubt, not circumstances. Before we continue, take a deep breath. You are closer than you think. Closer than you feel. Closer than you realize. Right now, type this in the comments as a declaration of agreement. Sparkles, I am ready for my divine union. Sparkles. Sparkles, I receive this. Sparkles. There are moments in life when everything feels strangely quiet, and yet your spirit feels loud. You may not have words for it, but there is a knowing inside you, a shift happening beneath the surface. It almost feels like the calm before a breakthrough. Not the calm of emptiness, but the calm of preparation. The kind of calm when heaven is aligning something so significant that you don't even realize how close you are. If you've been feeling disconnected from things you once wanted, if you've been losing interest in people who once held importance, if certain plans suddenly feel too small or outdated, that's not confusion, that's spiritual repositioning. God is redirecting you to what matches your next season. Not everyone and everything can continue with you where you're going. When God calls you higher, He also calls you away. You might not understand why your energy feels different, but let me tell you, it is divine timing. You are entering a season where God is separating, refining, strengthening, and protecting you because what's coming isn't ordinary. It's not random. It's not accidental. It's appointed. Your angels are revealing that the next step in your life is both relational and geographical. Your marriage and your relocation are connected. That's why the people around you cannot relate to the shift you feel. They're not meant to understand your calling. They were meant for a chapter, not the entire book. Sometimes God hides what He's building. Not because He wants it delayed, but because premature exposure can destroy what was meant to flourish. Joseph shared his dream too early, and it cost him years of hardship, yet even that was used by God. You, however, are in a wiser season. You're learning the value of silence. You are understanding Proverbs 17 verse 28, which says, "Even fools are thought wise if they keep silent." Silence, in this season, is not weakness, it is strategy. God is teaching you that not all progress must be announced. Some progress must be protected. There is someone who has been observing you, not in a way that feels invasive, but in a way that feels purposeful. This person admires you from a distance, whether you are aware of them yet or not. They see something in you that stands out from the rest. Your grace, your resilience, your kindness, your spirit, these qualities go far beyond physical attraction. They see your heart, and that is what draws them in. This person has prayed for someone like you. They have asked God for alignment, clarity, guidance, and emotional maturity. They've been waiting for someone who matches their spirit, not just their lifestyle. What makes this connection sacred is not that two people desire each other, but that God desires the connection for them. Ecclesiastes 4 verse 12 reminds us, "A cord of 3 strands is not quickly broken." You, your future partner, and God, that is the threefold cord. That is what makes this love unshakable. This relationship will not require guesswork. You won't question their intentions. You won't wonder whether they care. You won't have to prove your worth. They will bring clarity, consistency, and direction. You will feel pursued, not pressured. Chosen, not tolerated. Loved, not tolerated or compared. For many of you, the person coming into your life is someone unexpected. They may not be the type you once imagined, but they are exactly who your soul recognizes. Their spirit aligns with yours because God shaped them with you in mind. Have you noticed how your standards changed? You don't crave drama anymore. You don't want chaotic relationships. You want emotional safety, spiritual alignment, peace, loyalty, and maturity. You want someone who leads with intention, communicates with transparency, and loves with respect. That desire is not random, it's preparation. Psalm 37 verse 4 says, "Delight yourself in the Lord, and He will give you the desires of your heart." Meaning, when your heart aligns with God, your desires become a reflection of His will. Your angels are saying that the person coming for you feels the same shift. They are also losing interest in meaningless connections. They don't want temporary attachments, they want covenant. They want someone to build with, pray with, travel with, dream with, and grow with. They are serious about love because they've learned what heartbreak teaches, discernment. You both had to be refined before this union. God had to soften your hearts. God had to remove distractions. God had to close wrong doors. God had to break cycles. God had to heal wounds. You are now stepping into a divine alignment where timing meets purpose. For some of you, this person is planning something behind the scenes, a conversation, a confession, a message, a meeting, a gesture, something that will reveal how they truly feel. They've been holding it in, waiting for the right moment, waiting for confirmation. And now that confirmation is unfolding. Isaiah 60 verse 22 says, "When the time is right, I, the Lord, will make it happen." Your angels are whispering. The time is almost here. Soon, communication will flow. Soon, distance will shrink. Soon, emotions will be confessed. Soon, plans will be made. Soon, your life will look completely different. You may feel nervous, excited, or unsure. That's normal. Major life transitions often begin with unfamiliar emotions. That is why God is asking you to remain grounded, still, and patient. Because rushing can cloud clarity. Doubting can block blessings. Oversharing can invite interference. This season is private, sacred, protected. God is moving quietly but intentionally. And everything you've prayed for, stability, love, partnership, peace, is unfolding faster than you think. Before we continue, take a moment and breathe deeply. Place your hand over your heart and speak this out loud. Lord, align me with what is meant for me. I receive. Then type this in the comments as confirmation. Sparkles, I am ready for my divine union. Sparkles. Sparkles, I receive this timing. Sparkles. There is something shifting inside you, something you can't quite explain. It feels like anticipation mixed with peace, like something is coming closer even though you can't see it yet. That feeling isn't imagination, it's alignment. It's your spirit recognizing what your physical world has not yet caught up to. The angels are making it clear, your life is entering a season of movement. That movement includes emotional movement, spiritual movement, and yes, physical movement. Before a relocation happens in the natural, it happens internally. You stop feeling attached to things that once felt permanent. You stop clinging to what once felt familiar. You stop forcing what no longer fits. When God is preparing a blessing, He first disconnects you from anything that would interfere with it. That's why some people have pulled away. That's why certain conversations no longer hold meaning. That's why you've outgrown places, habits, and even relationships you never thought you would detach from. You're not being abandoned, you're being elevated. Psalm 32 verse 8 says, I will instruct you and teach you in the way you should go, I will counsel you with my loving eye on you. God hasn't forgotten you. He is guiding you, even in silence. Right now, someone is being guided toward you too. Someone whose spirit recognizes yours before their eyes even meet you. Someone who has been searching for the kind of love you carry. Deep, pure, steady, and spiritual love. Not the love that burns quickly and disappears. Not the love based on ego or convenience. Not the love built on fear, manipulation, loneliness, or performance. This person wants a love that feels like home. And they feel that in you, even if neither of you fully understands why yet. Your angels want you to know something very important. This person has wrestled with their own fears. They've questioned whether they deserve someone like you. They've questioned whether they are ready. They've questioned whether their past disqualifies them. But God doesn't call the perfect, He perfects the called. Jeremiah 29 verse 11 reminds us, For I know the plans I have for you, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you hope and a future. This connection has a future. Not a temporary one. Not a shallow one. Not a seasonal one. A permanent future. This is why your soul feels restless, because you are preparing to shift from being single in identity to being chosen in purpose. Your heart is being conditioned for commitment, communication, maturity, and partnership. You've carried yourself alone for a long time, and God honors that strength. But now, He is guiding you into a season where love becomes shared, not carried alone. You will not have to beg for effort. You will not have to chase clarity. You will not have to try to convince them of your worth. Proverbs 18 verse 22 says, He who finds a wife finds a good thing and obtains favor from the Lord. This scripture isn't just about gender, it's about readiness. It means, when the right person finds the one meant for them, favor follows. Your union will carry favor, not confusion. Blessing, not struggle. Peace, not chaos. For many of you, the angels are revealing that this person has already noticed you in some way. Maybe online, maybe in passing, maybe through a mutual connection, or maybe they have already interacted with you but didn't reveal the depth of their feelings. This is someone who admires your strength but is also drawn to your softness. They respect your independence, but they also see the longing in you to finally be supported. They recognize that you are not looking for someone to complete you, but someone who matches you. This person has been observing your character, your consistency, your resilience. They admire how you still love despite being hurt. They admire how you still believe despite delays. They admire that your heart has survived battles many people would have never recovered from. They are not intimidated by your strength, they are inspired by it. Song of Solomon 3 verse 4 echoes your heart right now. I have found the one whom my soul loves. Even if you haven't met them, your souls have been in preparation. Your healing was not random. Your heartbreaks were not punishment. Your waiting was not wasted. God was shaping you into someone capable of loving deeply, receiving fully, and building spiritually. This connection will require privacy and protection. Not everyone will celebrate it. Not everyone will understand it. Not everyone deserves access to it. That is why this season requires silence. Luke 2 verse 19 says, Mary treasured up all these things and pondered them in her heart. Some blessings aren't meant to be announced, they're meant to be lived. Your angels are saying, do not speak prematurely. Do not reveal what God is still forming. Do not share what hasn't fully matured. Jealous eyes do not always show jealousy. Sometimes they speak as concern, logic, advice, or opinions, but the spirit behind it is sabotage. Protect this blessing until it is rooted. Protect this love until it is sealed. Protect this promise until it becomes reality. Because what's coming is too valuable, too divine, and too intentional to be exposed before its time. Before we continue, pause for one moment and breathe. Place your hand over your heart and repeat after me slowly. Lord, prepare me for what you have promised. I receive it with faith and patience. Now type in the comments as your declaration to heaven. Sparkles, I receive my divine union. Sparkles, I am ready for my new season. Sparkles, blessed and ready. Sparkles. As you sit with these words, something inside you is responding, not logically, not analytically, but spiritually. Your spirit recognizes this message because it aligns with something God already whispered to you privately. There have been moments, quiet moments, when you felt a shift, even if you didn't understand it. You felt yourself detached from places, memories, people, and even versions of yourself that no longer fit the direction God is pulling you into. This is because a new chapter is already being written about you. Isaiah 43 verse 19 says, "Behold, I am doing a new thing, now it springs forth, do you not perceive it?" That means before the change appears physically, you will feel it spiritually. You will sense the shift before you see the evidence. When something is God ordained, the alignment begins long before the announcement. And in this new chapter, you are not walking alone. There is someone whose life is about to intertwine with yours in ways that go beyond coincidence, beyond attraction, beyond human planning. This is someone who has prayed, yes, prayed, for someone exactly like you. They prayed not just for love but for loyalty. Not just for connection, but for alignment. Not just for attraction, but for purpose. They prayed for someone who could walk beside them, not behind them and not ahead of them, someone who is equally yoked. Matthew 19 verse 6 declares, "So they are no longer two, but one flesh. Therefore, what God has joined together, let no one separate." Your angels are revealing that this marriage will be different from anything you've experienced before. You will not have to beg for attention. You will not have to wonder where you stand. You will not have to chase clarity or force transparency. This person will pursue you with intention, not confusion, not mixed signals, not fear. They will approach you with maturity because God has already been dealing with them privately. Just like you, they've had moments of uncertainty. Just like you, they've experienced heartbreak, betrayal, disappointments, and emotional battles. Just like you, they wondered if God forgot about them, or if maybe their blessing went to someone else. But God did not forget either of you. He was preparing you. Sometimes God delays what we prayed for because He refuses to allow an immature version of us to mishandle a mature blessing. Your heart had to grow. Your wisdom had to sharpen. Your boundaries had to strengthen. Your discernment had to develop. Because the love you're about to receive requires readiness, not desperation. God does not give miracles to those who are not prepared to maintain them. So, if life felt silent, slow, or still, if relationships fell apart, if connections faded, if opportunities closed, it wasn't punishment, it was pruning. John 15 verse 2 says, "Every branch that bears fruit, He prunes so that it may bear more fruit." God was removing what couldn't go where you're going. The relocation, the marriage, the elevation, these things require a different version of you. And whether you realize it or not, that version is emerging right now. For some listening, there is a reason you've been feeling the urge to clean, organize, plan, or prepare, even if you don't know why. There's a reason certain environments suddenly feel uncomfortable or temporary. There's a reason you can't settle into your old routines anymore. Your spirit knows you're transitioning. God often moves His chosen ones out of a place before they understand why. Think of Abraham. In Genesis 12 verse 1, God said, "Go from your country, your people and your father's household to the land I will show you." God didn't give Abraham the full map, He gave him an instruction. And Abraham's obedience unlocked destiny. The same is happening for you. You may not know the exact date or the exact details yet, but your angels are telling you, the movement is already scheduled. Your life is shifting from waiting into walking. And this person, the one aligned with your destiny, they are part of this shift. They are part of God's divine timing. They are part of the promise being fulfilled. You are not meeting just anyone, you are meeting someone who has been spiritually assigned to your journey. Someone who will protect you, not just physically, but emotionally and spiritually. Someone who will pray with you, not just for you. Someone who sees your value, not just your beauty. Someone who values commitment, not convenience. Someone who sees you as a life partner, not a temporary chapter. Their love will bring clarity, not confusion. Their voice will bring peace, not anxiety. Their presence will bring stability, not chaos. And that is why God is telling you to keep quiet. Some people are connected to your current season but cannot follow you into your next one. Some people may smile outwardly but inwardly feel threatened by your elevation. Some people will pretend to support you, then sabotage you. The enemy does not attack what is empty, he attacks what is promised. Sometimes the greatest protection is silence. Your angels need you to understand, before this blessing becomes public, it must be spiritually sealed. Do not explain. Do not defend. Do not justify. What God is doing does not require public approval, only divine obedience. Proverbs 3 verses 5 to 6 says, "Trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways submit to him, and he will direct your paths." Right now, God is directing your path toward love, partnership, stability, and destiny. Not temporary love. Not surface-level interest. Not casual attention. You are walking toward covenant. Before we continue, take a moment and breathe again, slowly. You are stepping into the season you once prayed for. If your spirit is receiving this message, type in the comments. Sparkles, I receive this divine confirmation. There is something sacred happening around you right now, even if no one else can see it. Even if everything looks the same on the outside, things are shifting on the spiritual level. Your angels are preparing a path that does not look like your past. The love, the stability, the home, the peace, these things are aligning in silence, in private, under God's timing and not human interference. There are moments when you pause and think to yourself, why do I feel like something is about to happen? That feeling exists because your spirit is already aware of God's movement before your mind catches up. The supernatural always happens before the natural. The spiritual realm always activates before the physical evidence arrives. Jeremiah 29 verse 11 reminds you, "For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you hope and a future." Right now, the future that Scripture speaks of is unfolding. Your angels are showing me that the timing is not random, it is precise. Everything that didn't work, everyone who walked away, every door that closed, every unanswered question, it all aligned perfectly to bring you to this exact moment. Sometimes God lets things fall apart so you won't settle where you were never meant to stay. Now, there is someone chosen, someone sealed by God, whose life is being aligned with yours. This person has been thinking deeply about you. They have been reflecting, evaluating, praying, questioning, and even battling their own doubts. At first, they tried to brush off their emotions. They told themselves, it's nothing. It will fade. But it didn't. The more they tried to ignore it, the louder God made it. The more they tried to distract themselves, the more their spirit kept returning to you. Because this connection is not human-born, it is heaven-assigned. Song of Solomon 3 verse 4 says, "I have found the one whom my soul loves." This isn't just physical attraction. This is soul recognition. And here's the part your angels need you to hear. They have already made up their mind about you. They've chosen you in their heart long before they express it publicly. They've dreamt of you, imagined a life with you, prayed for guidance about you. They see qualities in you that others overlooked, misunderstood, or mishandled. They see your patience, your heart, your resilience, and your purity of intention. This person sees the value that God placed inside you, not the version life tried to break. And right now, they are preparing. They are preparing emotionally, financially, mentally, and spiritually. They don't just want to love you, they want to build with you. They don't just want you temporarily, they want to protect and commit long-term. They are thinking about what life would look like with you next to them, not as an option, but as a partner. Proverbs 18 verse 22 tells us, "He who finds a wife finds a good thing and obtains favor from the Lord." Your angels are showing that marriage is not just coming, it is part of your destiny. But here's another truth. Not everyone can know about it yet. Some people don't need to know your next move. Some hearts around you are not genuine. Some mindsets are not supportive. Some people would rather see you stagnant than celebrating. Some would rather watch your life remain predictable instead of shifting into miracle territory. That's why your angels are warning. Be silent. Be private. Be selective. You're in a season where God is revealing, not for sharing, but for preparing. Joseph learned this lesson in Scripture. God showed him his future in a dream, but when he shared it prematurely, people reacted with jealousy and sabotage. Not everyone can handle the weight of your calling. Not everyone can celebrate a promise that wasn't given to them. Matthew 7 verse 6 says, "Do not cast your pearls before swine." This blessing, your relocation, your marriage, your elevation, it is a pearl. It is not for casual conversations, oversharing, or validation seeking. It is for discernment and protection. Because the enemy cannot stop what God has ordained, but he can try to distract you, discourage you, exhaust you, or confuse you. Your silence will be your shield. Your obedience will be your power. Your discernment will be your safety. And when the time is right, when God has finished preparing both you and your future spouse, what has been hidden will be revealed. The relationship will become known. The move will become clear. The marriage will be announced. And when that happens, there will be no confusion, no questioning, no doubt, only alignment. Those who doubted will watch. Those who underestimated you will watch. Those who talked behind your back will watch. Those who didn't believe your breakthrough was coming will watch. Because this next chapter won't need your defense. God will be the evidence. And when you finally step into that home, into that fresh beginning, into that new season with your God-ordained partner, you will look back and say, "This is why it never worked with anyone else. This is why the waiting was necessary. This is why I had to grow first." Before we continue, breathe this in. Sparkles, you are not behind. Sparkles, you are not forgotten. Sparkles, you are not overlooked. You are aligned. If your spirit feels this word, comment, "It's mine. I receive it." Before we close, I want you to pause and place your hand on your heart, just for a moment. Feel that? That's not just a heartbeat. That is confirmation. That is alignment. That is your spirit responding to truth. Your angels want you to leave this message not with fear, not with confusion, but with quiet confidence, because God has already gone ahead of you. The doors are opening. The path is clearing. The blessings are aligning. You are stepping into a season that will make sense of every tear, every delay, every disappointment, and every silent prayer you prayed when nobody knew you were hurting. Isaiah 60 verse 22 says, "When the time is right, I, the Lord, will make it happen." Not when people think you deserve it. Not when others approve of it. Not when it makes perfect sense. But when He decides the time is right. And my friend, your spirit knows. The time is right. As you move into this next chapter, remember this: not everyone can go with you. Not everyone was meant to see the next level of your story. Some connections were temporary, some were lessons, some were spiritual training. But the blessing, that was always permanent. Before you go, comment these 3 words if you receive this message today. Sparkles, blessed and ready. Sparkles. Let that be your declaration. Let it be your agreement with heaven. And if this message spoke to your spirit, if it felt personal, if it brought clarity, if it gave you peace, please make sure you like this video, because it helps this message reach others who need it. Share it with a friend, with a family member, or with someone you know who is waiting on God for a promise. You never know who might need this reminder today. And if you haven't already, make sure you subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss when another message is sent for you. You are not here by accident. Your steps are guided. Your future is protected. Your marriage, your move, your breakthrough. They are already written. I am proud of you for staying faithful. For staying patient. For not giving up, even when you had every reason to. Your season has shifted. Heaven has spoken. Now watch what God does next. Come back for more messages like this, and until then, stay hopeful. Stay prayerful. Stay expectant. Your miracle is closer than you think. God bless you. Yellow Heart.